let's check in on our submersible companions down by the Titanic.
It seems as though those hopes are being dashed.
Shut up!
It seems as though those hopes are being dashed.
That would be my reading of it, frankly.
Would you say that?
Frozen says update. They did.
Yeah. What would you say? The hope is sunk
Yeah.
God damn it, Eric.
for this situation.
Why didn't the emergency balloon thing operate?
What
That
emergency
should have been
balloon thing?
autonomous. Well, they had a timer that if they didn't come up, it would automatically inflate and raise it up to the surface.
Well, that's probably because the thing imploded and shredded into a million pieces.
Nice.
Yeah.
Would you say that they got in a situation that was over their head?
Mhm.
Would you say that
They were,
they got in the deep waters?
Eric! God damn it.
I have a sinking feeling. It's not alive.
They must be under immense pressure.
The fact they've tweeted
And your mic just changed for some reason.
Oh, sorry about
Oh,
that.
there you
Is it too
go.
loud?
No, it went. It sounded like it was like in. It sounded like it was on a radio all of a sudden.
Yeah, I don't know. These shitty headphones suck. Keep going.
Yeah, no worries.
this information, which they clearly regard as significant in terms of the public realm. The word debris doesn't
Hey, that
sound
one's
good
got a
at all.
hatch.
In
That's
that
weird. Why does that one have a hatch? And a big bubble thingy where, plenty of people could see things just normal.
Because that's the one the actual real company made. That
Yes.
followed all the safety guidelines.
Why does this one look like a what's the word? Oh, yeah, submarine. Not a
Why did they
fucking
just buy
propane
one?
tank. Right?
They were billionaires.
It couldn't have been that
What?
expensive.
Why would anybody bother going after him to rescue them? They did something retardedly stupid, and you just leave it at that.
Oh,
Why
at this
risk
point-
other people?
At this point, they're not going to rescue him. It's more of just like Lily go down there and go,
Yeah, right?
Point and laugh.
Morbid curiosity.
you fucking morons.
Situation and at a depth where the water pressure is huge, 38 bar. I mean, that's many times the pressure inside your car tire. It can do considerable damage.
They're going down
to
there so they can try to figure
vessels
out who they
the
can
like
sue.
of the Titan.
The dolphins are going by, they're fucked.
On the seabed,
They're so dead.
4,000 meters down. So should the worst have happened to the Titan, and we don't know if that's the case yet, that's to be confirmed, but should the worst have happened and that vessel was broken up somehow by the pressures at that depth, then the word debris would absolutely fit that worst case scenario. There is due to be a news conference. I'm outside the Coast Guard.
I think they're dead. Why? We found 4 bodies and then pieces of all the other ones.
Well, 435, that's 435 PSI, 30 bar. That's not that, that shouldn't have tore up that sub at all.
I mean, the outside was fiberglass, essentially.
Well, carbon fiber.
Oh, no shit.
I mean, yeah,
Wow.
it was carbon fiber, but it's essentially what it is. At that pressure, it might as well just be fiberglass, just shredding on itself, and it had
Yeah.
a metal tube
Okay.
on the inside.
I heard it was titanium and composite materials.
It's but the way that guy was describing it is it might as well just be paper mache around a fucking tube of like a fucking paper towel tube. Just gets fucking ripped to pieces because it's not tested for any of those things. And the composite stuff they were using, whatever that fucking super fiberglass bullshit was they're using, was made for rockets, for internal pressures, not external pressures. Has no ratings for external pressures, which it'd stand to reason that it could hold good external pressures if it had internal pressures, unless it's not built for that at all. I'm not a fucking engineer, so I don't know the way that shit works, but maybe the fiber meshing or whatever isn't meant for things pushing down on it, just pushing out.
Just think of a hose that's out of a woven material. Yeah, it works good to keep the pressure in, But you even when the pressure's in there, you can still take your hand and close the fucking. If it was
Internal
a solid,
pressure just-
if it was a
yeah.
solid piece of fucking metal, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
Our
It's just
command
made to
center here
not
in
like bust open.
Yeah.
Boston. We expect to hear from them publicly on the record sometime soon, but this news doesn't sound good. It reads in a very dark way. The detail presumably will be fleshed out
I
in
wonder
time.
if the
And
bodies
indeed,
came up so fast that it's like when you go deep sea fishing, like, and you have the electric reels. When you bring the fish up, the stomach and
Oh, yeah, they
everything
bloat.
has popped out of the fish's mouth and everything.
Probably.
Well, that's their
The,
swim bladder.
the eyes all
You
fucking
don't have those.
bug out and shit.
Dude, yeah,
Well, Eric,
it would
at
look
that
fucked
depth,
up.
like water will be forced into you. You'll probably sink.
No,
Oh, you
I
think
just
so?
imagine it's like putting the guy in the fucking depressurizing chamber and was it the Living Daylights? His head just gets bigger, pops. I love that bit.
they are still analysing what has been found. This is a day, remember, when 2 remotely operated vehicles were sent into the depths, to the search area, following the path line of the Titan. So today, really for the first time, they had the proper...
The dream continues, but it's written like it was in a nightmare. It's terrible.
But they didn't try testing it at like 50 feet and
Dude,
staying there for a
I
little
read
bit
yesterday-
and then coming up.
You know the guy from what was it? Destination Unknown, or one of the guys from the Discovery Channel shows that like goes around to like crazy places, right? He got in it for one of its test dives and said, no, I'm never getting back in this fucking thing ever again. Loose Skunt on 79 on Rumble for $2 says it's 1 bar per 10 meters. They were over 3,000 meters down. 300 bar is 4,350 psi. Jesus fucking
add
Christ.
a 0, asshole. I'm just going off what they reported.
Jesus Christ, that's a lot of PS. 4,350 pounds per square inch?
Yeah.
Fuck.
That's the PSI of the concrete I pour.
Yeah, that's like having a truck on you every square inch.
Mm-hmm.
Just to look at stupid dead shit at the bottom of the fucking ocean.
What if they were going down there to confirm the Titanic conspiracy theory?
What's the conspiracy?
Nah, I
Which
heard they
one?
went down there because they had some kids to fuck.
Oh, there was just one kid on the fucking sub. The conspiracy theory that the Titanic wasn't sunk by an iceberg, but rather was blown up.
Scuttled.
And the conspiracy theory goes on to say that I think it was like 4 out of the 5 people opposing the creation of the Federal Reserve were on the Titanic. Like,
I
heard something about that.
I don't know if that's true or not. It sounds good. It sounds good. That's all I can say about it.
Yeah, why is the ship split in half? I think that's bullshit. How they're like, oh yeah, the front filled up with water, and then the whole ship pointed up in the air and then broke into half.
I mean,
don't
that
believe
that
that
could
for one
happen.
fucking
It was
second.
that long.
I don't
if you
believe it.
blew a hole in one end of it, and it filled, even if like
the
it, you know,
torpedo,
you don't need a thing, but if you blew a hole in one end of it, right, and it starts capsizing, it's gonna
Has any other ship ever done that in the history of the fucking world?
break in half. Yeah.
The ones that are hit
No,
by
no, no, no.
torpedoes, dude.
The way that fucking they depict it in the movie.
Yeah.
No.
I've seen cruise ships have done that. Like where they fucking
What, go
snap.
almost all the way vertical and snap in half?
Yeah, they'll because it starts
I've
weighing down
never
on one
seen
side
no video
and
like that.
they fucking break in half. Like I've seen the wreckage of it. I've never seen it actually.
it was
They
an
didn't catch the video
explosion-
while it was happening. But I'm not saying that it's
Yeah.
not an explosion. I'm just saying that like if you did that in the far back and filled like the very back bottom levels of it up, it would start tilting. And
Yeah, the Titanic hit it in the front, not the back.
Well, whatever.
The iceberg
One
didn't
far
sneak up on 'em.
far end is my point. Like if it hit in the middle, it would have just sunk like directly down, probably capsized sideways.
That would explain why it was so famous.
Was
Oh no, I think the water
There's
would
been
the ship would slowly sink.
it just depends on how the damage is done. Like if it would have been more towards the middle, yeah, it would have just sank like normal. But it was all the way at one end of it, like you said, the front. So like, but the thing
Yeah.
is, the people aboard said like, hey, I never saw an iceberg, but I heard a fucking explosion.
Has there ever been icebergs tracked in that area since? I've never heard of it.
I don't know.
Yeah, how come there's not an iceberg there right now?
Exactly.
Got the Zackleys.
I mean, like they would probably say it was global warming or whatever the fuck.
They blew that shit up.
Yeah, I mean that seems likely. It seems like as likely of a story as there being fucking
Like you would think
icebergs
somebody
there.
would have went back and took a picture of the iceberg that sunk the Titanic. Okay, I don't remember ever seeing any pictures of it.
Yeah, I mean,
Does anybody else
really
here
cool
remember
boats.
seeing any pictures of it?
The rescue
Ken says
boats?
icebergs move, morons. Yeah, they move, but wouldn't they still wouldn't there be some in that vicinity?
It would be a trend, yeah.
I mean, I'm also
That's
not
what I
really
would
like
assume.
spending a lot of time like tracking icebergs, so maybe I just don't hear about them. I don't know.
Look, when I put ice cubes in my whiskey, they melt after a little while. So maybe it melted right after.
So here's the thread. Industrials who posed the Federal Reserve who were on the ship: John Jacob Astor, Benjamin Guggenheim, Isidore Strauss, George Dutton Wyden. And all four of them presumably died because only women and children really got off that motherfucker. Apparently it's even mentioned in the movie that there's people from the Federal Reserve on the boat. It sits in international waters with unregulated salvage operations. Basically, the thing is saying like they think that they did it on purpose so that like you go to international waters, there's no regulations, people are going to get themselves killed, and then you maybe stage something like the submarine so that people stop trying.
I'm starting to think them fucking rich assholes weren't on there.
I'm starting to think that too.
And apparently, the David D. Rothschild, entrepreneur and environmentalist, joined the OceanGate Inc. board of directors.
Oh, hey.
It's like little shit like that's a little spoopy. It's nothing
Yeah,
conclusive.
don't say.
It's nothing conclusive, but it's definitely spoopy.
I like how one of the sons of the fucking people there was at a Blink-182 concert.
Frozen says, sometimes listening to you guys talk about things like icebergs make me feel like I'm watching the chimps in the zoo figure out a new tool. Hey, Frozen, this is stupidity at maximum confidence.
Goddamn right.
Available to them, the proper kit with camera and sonar capabilities that would have enabled searchers to look effectively for the Titan. And on that day, they have discovered what they describe as debris. But, the details are yet to be confirmed. We don't know what that debris is and what the
Pronounced
significance of that news bulletin from the Coast Guard is. That will be confirmed in due course, but it doesn't look good.
In due course.
Ortsow says he heard one of the guys on the submarine worked for SETI. That'd be interesting, too. It's like, there's a lot of just spoopy shit about all of this. And, I don't know. The world's just like that now, so I don't know what the fuck to do. Let's go. That's weird. Move on.
Do I get any of their money?
No,
That's all I
the
really
millionaires? I think I
No.
divvy it up.
All right, then I don't care about them.
I got this one here Lucas sent me about HARP. But it's from this guy named Derek Bros. I don't trust this guy.
That's the thing up in Alaska that Art Bell used to talk about being a weather control system, right?
Yeah, like
Or upper
there's one in
atmosphere.
like I think like Wyoming
Exactly.
too, where it's like a bunch of like weird antennas.
Are you
Yeah,
telling-
like
this is
but-
like the deep space communication shit.
Yeah, but this guy's claiming that not the guy who posted the guy in the video is claiming that the U.S. government can cause earthquakes, and that, let's see, what did he say? He saw a video of Bush Sr. ordering the earthquake on Japan. Now,
Was this before or after George Bush puked in Japan?
We just try all our weapons of mass destruction out on Japan.
Why not?
Before anybody else? We nuke them.
They're perfectly on the other
Earthquake
side of the
machines.
globe. They're perfectly far enough away from us. So let's see.
How fucked up are we going to keep making the Japanese? Come on, man.
I got to make a schizo post drop for when we do videos like this, where it's just like, let's go into the wild.
1983, I did radio tomography with 30 watts, looking for oil in the ground. I found 26 oil wells over a 9-state area, and 100% of the time was accurate with just 30 watts of power beaming straight into solid rock. HARP uses 1 billion watts, beamed straight into the ionosphere for experiments. Picture these strings on the piano as layers of the earth. Each one has its own frequency. What we used to do is beam radio waves into the ground, and it would vibrate any strings that were present in the ground. We might get a sound back like, and we'd say, that's natural gas. We might get a sound back like, and we say that's crude oil. We were able to identify each frequency. We accomplished this with just 30 watts of radio power. If you do this with 1 billion watts, the vibrations are so violent that the entire piano would shake. In fact, the whole house would shake. In fact, the vibrations could be so severe underground that could even cause an earthquake.
No, this guy is full of shit. You need way more than 30 watts to get anything to resonate that far underground.
I mean, I'm not a earth
watts is
scientist.
not much.
I'm a fake doctor on the internet.
I'm a high asshole on the internet. I just saw it. I don't know.
We need to let.
Science.
Okay, we got a construction guy in the crew. We got a farmer / aviation guy. We got coders. We got resident geeks. We got a suicidal schizo poster. We need an electrician in the group. We need electricians out there.
And I like chicken.
I don't know anything about geology as far as, like, you know, how that kind of shit works. I would have to see, you know, other things. But here is a community note, though, they put on it. HARP relies on absorption of 2.7 to 10 megahertz EM waves directed to the ionosphere. Radar tomology relies on surface reflection of 100 to 1500 megahertz EM waves. So they're just like debunking everything he said. Neither produce subsonic seismic waves greater than 20 hertz, resonating like a piano string. The last one says can't change Earth's natural resonant frequency.
No, you need a lot more power than that. And it's got to be very specifically directed. Like it's got to be sitting on top of the ground,
Oh God!
pointed downwards.
Fat Cake Boy just sent me this. They apparently are making a second Titanic. And
Oh, this was a while ago.
yeah, it's a project by an Australian billionaire. Why would you do this? Sounds like a bad idea. Also, we have cruise liners that are way fucking bigger now.
Insurance
Yeah,
scam?
for
I don't know.
sure.
Maybe he's just really obsessed with the idea of the Titanic.
Fucking rich nerds, man.
Yeah, you know they're probably gonna have that one room where, like in that movie, where Leonardo DiCaprio and that woman had sex in that. What was that? A Ford Model A car or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know they're gonna have a room that's full of these Model Ts, and if you pay thousands of dollars, you and your lover can go in there and have sex in them cars.
You want to fuck
we live
like
that
Leo?
Be like Leo. Oh yeah, it'll be open to straight couple, lesbians, gays, whatever.
You
Imagine
want a
Eric and
scissor-roll
Ruth
Henry Ford
making love
car?
in one of those cars.
Come on, baby. Let's go scissor an old Henry Ford car.
Anal scissor.
On the Titanic.